I've now put the wings in and the top part of the hull. That'll enclose the wings as it says on the plans. So you put the wings in first on the bottom of, what was that number? On the bottom of that one, which was, oh sorry, C12 and C13. On the bottom of C12 there's two little notches which lock into two little holes in there. On C13 there's two notches on the top and there's two notches on the bottom, and the ones on the bottom go into them mounting holes there. So you push that into place. Once that's locked into place, you put the upper part of the hull in, as it says there, and that locks the wings into place. And if you remember from the plans, you got those, like I said, C12 and C13. Those enable the wings to open and to close. And then last but not least on this first page, or the third page I should say, you've got C7 into C8, and then you've got A17, so you push A17 to the back of the X-Wing, and then you've got the 7 and 8, and you push that in and that locks A17 into place. And that is where I'm sitting at the moment. Right, I'm in the home stretch of main construction now. This part is going to be about the canopy. Now, you've got two options for the canopy, as it says on the plans. You've got C4, which is off the grey sprue, well, the silver sprue, and that's an open cockpit with no clear parts. Or you've got the clear parts, which is A20 and A21. So, with the A20 and A21, not only have you got two pieces, but then you've got to go through all the rigmarole of masking all that off so you can have the edge parts of the canopy in the grey. So I've just gone with the open canopy, which is C4, and it is in one piece. And to be honest, I think with the clear bits, I don't think you'll see the detail as well. So that's the option that I've gone with. Right, on the underneath construction, you've got the option of doing it in flight mode, or you've got all these extra pieces for the landing gear. I'm going to be doing it in flight mode, so obviously I'm not going to be using the base either. So with flight mode, you've got to put 4 panels in. You've got A31 and B15 and B16 for the wing landing gear covers, and then also to cover the base up, you've got A30. Now with A31, which is that piece here, it is very, very loose indeed. And I turned it over and the piece popped out. So what I've done is I've just ran a touch of glue inside, because like I said, I'm going to do this in flight mode to keep that piece in. Now for B15 and B16, they've got little holes and tabs, so they push into place very, very easy. So I wish A31 would have had a little pushing tab. And you've got this little piece here, which is the A30, and that just pushes into place, no problem, so you don't need to glue that one. So that's the underneath construction done. Right, that little guy there is BB8. Now BB8 is 2 halves, which is A23 and A22. So you just push those together with no problems at all. Then, whether you do stickers or decals, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stickers or decals. And that's what I've done. So I'm going to zoom in on BB8. Like I said, new camera, I'm still getting used to it. Right, so you've got all the decals round the side. Well, I've put the stickers on, so they're more round the side. Still got to push them on a bit more. Then on his head, you've got a decal that wraps all the way round, little stripe decal on the bottom of his head, which is number 88. Then you've got his little visor, and the secondary visor, little camera, whatever you call it, his eye, which is decal 87, which stretches over that. And then you've got the top of the head here, that's another decal or sticker, and that is number 83. So BB-8's looking very, very nice indeed. So then you underneath there, you've got a little hole. And I've just got to zoom back out. And that little hole on the bottom of BB-8 will sit onto that notch there. So like I said, main construction is complete. I haven't put the guns on yet, because I'm not going to put the guns on until I've actually weathered and decals. So that's what's going to be next now. It's weathering and decals. I'm almost there. Right, it's finale time on the Resistance X-Wing. With all that I've had going on in the last couple of weeks, I haven't really had much chance to work on the X-Wing, to be honest, but now it's all done. Done the last bit of final construction, the many decals. It feels like about 100 decals, them are all on. Done a touch of weathering, and it's all finished. So here's the final reveal. Well, there it is, all done. When I left here, I just finished the underneath construction with the flight mode landing bay doors, the closed doors. Once I'd done that, I then put the guns together. As it says on the plans, you got like 19, 10 and B19, C10 and C1 for the right cannons, and then for the left cannons you got B20, C10 and C1. Very easy to put together, all snap fit. I left them on my little rag here because I had to put the decals on there. The decals, you can see on the placement guide, there is literally loads. It feels, like I said, it feels like about 100 decals. So I just got my pencil, and after each one I just scribbled it so I know which ones I'd put on. So turning this round, you can see all the decals on the right side. You got the wings one, there's actually a decal underneath there. That was, can't remember which decal that was now. Just trying to think. 38, so there was 4 38s. You had one on the lower one, and then there's one on the upper one as well. Trying to get the microsole to sink into those little grooves on the engines there was a bit of a pain in the arse. Some of them have showed through, some of them haven't. So what it might be worth you doing is painting that on, and then on the intake here, trying to get the microsole to suck those round. I mean, if I zoom in slightly, you could probably just make out where it hasn't sucked them in properly. You can class that as battle damage maybe. So what you might want to do is paint that, paint the intake, but then cut the blue decals off, and then just put the blue stripe decal on by itself. That might be something you might be worth doing. So zooming back out again. The microsole around the raised parts as well on these blue ones here. It hasn't 100% sucked it in, but it's not too bad. Same as on this side as well. I'm just going to pause this a sec. Right, taking it off its base, you can see all the underneath decals as well. There's not as many as there is on the top. Just mainly around the wing area. You've got these little grey strips around the cannons. Those are quite easy to put on, to be honest. And you've got these little tiny triangle decals. Those are a bitch to get on. Oh, what the hell happened there? Oh, look. A little bit of I mean, even though I have sealed them, that's just popped off with me just taking a breath. That's weird, even though I have sealed them. Although, I suppose that could be classed as battle damage, to be honest. You can see on the there, you can probably just make out it hasn't sucked him in 100% into those little grooves. So like I said, it might be worth you painting it. So I'm going to pause this again. Right, put it back on its base. Now with the weathering, what I've just done is I've just got a bit of charcoal and sanded it onto a bit of paper and just rubbed it on with my fingers and a brush as well, just to give it that light bit of weathering. Not the party political broadcast that I did for me original X-Wing, because everybody commented looks more like it's been took out the swamp of Dagobah than it has in flight mode when it's on the attack of the Death Star. That's probably what I should have done, use the charcoal for the weathering. But just a slight bit of weathering, very, very subtle, nothing too major. And then once all that was done, I then put the guns on. Now, I slotted them into the holes on the actual gun mounts, but I found they was a bit too loose, so I just put a drop of glue in each of the cannon mounts just to give it a bit of extra security. But there it is, all done. Oh, forgot about BB-8 as well. Now, BB-8, what I did is I went with the decals in the end. The stickers came off and there was like loose around the edges. So I just put the decals on. It's microset, microsol and sealed. And the actual decals have gone down better with the microsol. Right, so moving my charcoal out of the way. I'll just turn it round on my turntable just to give you one last look at it. Zooming on the guns there. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, the inside of the wings where I'd done those engines, I just painted those with the gunmetal on the inside. Because apart from those decals, those blue ones, I think that's it, to be honest. And the ones on the inside, obviously. But there it is, all finished. So turning the camera back round. Hopefully I haven't bored you too much. I'll put some photos on and be very, very quickly with the next build, because I've got another build in progress. Thank you very much for watching.